everybody. This is Dr. Anthony Chang. I'm the founder of AI Med. Welcome to the Clinician Series. And our tradition is always open with the biggest reason why we all want to adopt AI in healthcare and medicine, and it's to improve patient outcome and their experience. So I'm so happy to have two very special guests and friends here today. We have Leanne West, who is the leader for iCAN, and she'll tell us a little bit about iCAN. And then we have Iman, our most special guest, who is one of our patients, who is willing to tell us her story and her experience with medical care and how we can all focus on making it better, with particularly aspects of emerging technologies that are now available. So Leanne, would you like to tell us first about iCAN and how this organization helps patients?
Thank you, Anthony. I'm Leanne West, and I'm proud to be the president of the International Children's Advisory Network, or iCAN for short. And at iCAN, what we do is promote the pediatric patient voice in healthcare. So we want to make sure that the pediatric patient gets heard and not just looked over because people think they're too young to understand what's going on. So what we really try to do is have our kids work with industry to give them feedback about products. We have them work with groups like the FDA to tell their stories so that they can better understand what it's like to be someone living with a certain condition or who has a certain device. And we also have them speak at conferences like today. So really our goal is to have our kids get anywhere they need to be to help share their voice and make a difference for themselves and all the other kids who come after them.
Thanks, Iman. So tell us a little bit about you, Iman, and how you got here in your journey, and then we'll talk about what we could do to help you and your life better. So, Iman, tell us first about your story and who you are and where you came from.
So, I am from Connecticut, and my name is Iman. Thank you for introducing me, Dr. Chang and Ms. West. So I am 15 years old, and at the age of 8, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and it was kind of something that was very new to us because no one in my family had had diabetes before. And so my mom, mother instinct, she knew something was wrong because I was frequently I had cotton mouth, needed to go to the bathroom a lot, needed to drink water. And it was just kind of this constant thing that was going on for 3-4 days. And my mom was like, you need to go. And I was like, no, I promise you I'm okay. And I was like, just so hesitant. I didn't want to go to the doctor's office because I didn't want to find out anything bad. But so we went to the doctor's office. They ran some tests, and I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And they were so great to me. And I'm just so thankful for all the frontline workers and everybody who does their job to make sure that all of us are safe and we're healthy and we're able to manage this very tricky disease. But in the first few months, actually, they gave me my insulin pump, which is it's not common. They don't give you it I think it was like my first 2 or 3 months I was into my diagnosis, they gave it to me. Because I had become such an avid self-advocate for myself, and I was always willing to learn more and went home and did research. And when I was like, I'm going to find a cure for this. Yeah. I'm going to, I'm going to be able to manage this. I'm going to kick diabetes and everything like that. It was just something that it was almost like it was destined for me in a way. Like I knew that it was something that I had to do and do good, like take control of it and manage. And so
that's an amazing attitude for at the time you were even younger. So how long were you sick prior to the 2-3 days that you just felt really terrible? Were you sick before that? Did you have any hints that you were having a medical condition?
Well, there was nothing that I really picked up on, or my family, because I think they said it was there before. It was probably because it can't really develop over 3 or 4 days, but I think the symptoms had gotten more, had increased and became more apparent to everybody. So that's what really pushed my mom to go, you need to get a doctor's appointment.
So after you were diagnosed, you
Hmm.
decided that you were going to be proactive and really self motivated to at least neutralize the effects of the disease, if not overcome it later. Um, what was your first few months like after you got the insulin pump?
It was amazing. It was so life changing. I mean, I was so used to shots and, 3, 4 times a day, five even, and it would just be so excruciating and it was painful actually. It was really painful, especially when your body's not used to that. I was only used to getting flu shots or my
Yeah,
HPV shots, and stuff like that. And it was just I had to get used to it, but I knew that it's a long lasting disease and lifelong, so I had to get used to it and I acknowledged that. But it was so relieving to know that there were people who made this device to help life easier for us and better manage it. And it really is life changing. I know I said that like 3 times, but
yeah.
it really is.
No, it's amazing what possibilities we have now to help patients like you. And we often and doctors and nurses and everyone in healthcare is guilty of this. We always talk about patients like it's someone else, but we're all patients at one point or another, and including myself. So one of the things that I think is really important is hear your story and listen to what are common elements that patients have that you have that would really make a difference in terms of making your life better. So if you were given a genie came out of a bottle and you got three wishes, what would you wish for as a person with diabetes?
So my first one would be a cure for this disease overall.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's first and foremost because it's very important, and just to know that if you get diagnosed, you don't have to deal with it. It's just a one-time thing, not long-lasting. It'll go away. Second of all is for people to understand what I'm really going through and to be able to read my mind. I mean, I know that's something that's totally out of this world, but it's something that I feel my parents always try to sympathize with me, and they're like, "I'm sorry, like I know what you're going through," but I'm like, I don't really think, as much as I love you all, and I think you guys are really trying to help me. It's something that you won't understand unless you have diabetes. You know what cotton mouth feels like, what it feels like to have hypoglycemia, and all this. And so that's my second one. My third one would be something that's more easier and less difficult. Those are the same, but than an insulin pump. I don't sometimes when I find myself putting my injection in for my site. Sometimes the little plastic tube that inserts the insulin into my body gets crooked, or it doesn't really give the right amount of insulin, but or the wire gets tangled, bubbles, and all this stuff. But I wish there was something easier that it would be able to that we would be able to have to manage this easier instead of if there wasn't a cure, which would be my first wish.
Well, I think scientists and doctors are working hard on your three wishes, and we'll probably see it in our lifetime. But I think something like data science and artificial intelligence is going to be a very big part of that, because part of the magic of all of this device and AI development is to essentially mimic what Mother Nature has been able to do so well, and try to make it as biological as possible, so that you don't have the up and down swings in glucose, and you don't have to worry about delivery. So I think the good news is that I'm very confident that you're going to see all your three wishes come to life in your lifetime as a person with diabetes. And even on the education front, you're absolutely right. People don't know how you feel, and it's good to involve everyone in the educational aspects, and even put themselves in your position, and even for a few hours, just to see what you go through as a person with diabetes, and to basically empower you as much as we can. So I think meetings like this, like AI Med, and other meetings, including iSpy, the International Society of Pediatric Innovation, are working really hard trying to leave everything better for the younger generation. So, Leanne, do you have a question for Iman?
Yes. So when you were talking about your wishes, I thought of a question. You mentioned you want a cure for this disease. That would be number one. Any wishes to go into medicine yourself, or is there another career path that you think you might take?
So, when I was diagnosed with diabetes, I felt like I had to do something in medicine. I felt like I was obligated to help other people like I want other people to help me. So, right now I'm thinking of, well, during quarantine, it really allowed me to explore my choices. Being during quarantine, I was a freshman in high school, so I really wanted to figure out, there's so many things you can do in the medical field. So I wanted to see what really interested me. And I saw something in dermatology. I saw it in me, something about it. I was interested in skincare. Skin is the biggest organ of the body, so it's something it's really important. But I feel like something in my future that involves helping other people, I'll be happy.
Great. We were so happy to hear that, because I think there's nothing like an inspired young person who has a medical condition to really make a big difference. And I think the exciting thing about AI is that I think it's going to change our thinking about education and training for the future doctor for the better. So I'm a little envious that you're starting off as such a young person in medicine. I wish I was younger, but I think it's going to be the best 25 years in medicine that we're going to ever see. So if you happen to decide on that career, I want to personally invite you to be able to keep in touch with you and make sure that you become a successful clinician and help all of us and help other people with your condition or other conditions as well. So best of luck with everything. And any last takeaway messages for our audience of all sectors in healthcare? Iman, any last words of advice or wisdom for all of the clinicians and nurses and data scientists and hospital executives listening in to our clinician series? Any last words from someone with a medical condition?
Well, I first want to thank you all for everything that you've been doing for this disease and other conditions. I mean, the work you do is tremendous, and we see it in our daily lives, and I see it as well. I know you guys are all working towards making everything easier for everybody who lives with a medical condition, and I hope to be a part of that someday in my future. So I'm looking forward to working with some of you and just really being an advocate for other people as well. So, and thank you all.
Guess what, Iman? The good news is that you're already part of us, and you're in the family of medicine and healthcare. So we already have you as part of the family. So thank you for your time today and inspiring us at the beginning of the Clinician Series meeting, so that we can all be grounded in why we're here, which is to help young people like you to have a normal life as possible. So thank you for your inspiration. And thank you, Leanne, for bringing Iman to us and telling us about iCAN and what an amazing organization it is. I'm always humbled by the purpose and the mission and the vision of iCAN as well. So thank you both.